Hey guys, I'm back with a new video. In this video, we'll learn about a data structure that you will most frequently encounter in your working with Python, and that is a list. So the question that must come in our minds is that what is a list? So let us come to the definition without wasting any time. So a list is a mutable, ordered sequence of elements, mostly only of one type, though it can hold elements of different types as well. So as an example, this is a list of numbers. Then this is also a list, but the elements inside this list are of different types. As you can see, we have a number, we have a boolean, we have a string, and we have a dictionary inside this list. So it is not uniform. So let me switch back to my editor and let us learn about lists in depth. So back in my editor, let us create a list by using the following syntax. So a list in Python is created with square braces, and you might know them as array in other programming languages. So first let us define a list of programming languages where each language is a string. So I will take Python, then JavaScript, C++, Java, and this is a list, so I will set that to some variable, programming languages. Also, lists can hold values of different types as well. So we can also have a list that looks something like this. So I will name this as messed up list. So first one is a string, I love football. Then let us take a float value, so 4.5634. Then a boolean, true. Then a dictionary, so I'll use the curly braces syntax and set a key value pair, name, and set that to Alexander, and age, set that to 21. And also within the list we can set up a nested list as well, corresponding to the key books. Say I can set up a list and say X and Y like this. Okay, so this should go right here. And then we can also have a list inside our list, so inside the outer list. So I can say anything, doesn't matter. And then let us print programming languages to the terminal and messed up list and run the file. Okay, so you can see this list is a relatively complex one with elements having different types. Now as you can see, all the elements in list are separated using comma, and if you want to find out the length of the list, you can use a function called as len provided by Python to do that. Let us leave a comment here, because here we are working on a new topic, lists, finding the length of the list. So I can say print len and pass on programming languages and print length of messed up list. Run the file, and you can see for the first list we are getting 4 because there are 4 elements sitting in our languages list, and we are having 5 elements sitting in our messed up list. So we are getting 5 for our messed up list length. Now what if you want to access the elements inside our list in order to change them, or for example output them? For that we require something called as index. Each element in list has something known as index, and the index for a list will always start at 0. So that means the first element of the list will have an index of 0. So Python is sitting at index 0, JavaScript is sitting at index 1, C++ is sitting at index 2 and is the third element, and Java is sitting at index 3 and is the fourth element of our programming languages list. So now let us verify that by accessing the elements at these positions. So by just using the square brace notation and the corresponding index of the element, we can directly access the element that we want. So accessing the element using indexing. So print programming languages. Now I want to refer the element that is sitting at the index 0, which is the first element of the list, and I want to reference the element that is sitting at the index 3, which is the last element of the list. So run the file. And you can see the first element in the list is Python, the last element in the list is Java, which is sitting at index 3. Now to change the value of any specific item, say the first item, for example, in our messed up list, what I can do is changing items in a list. So I can say messed up list and reference the first element by using the index 0, set that to changed, and let us print the messed up list to our terminal, run the file. Okay, so you can see earlier the first element was I love football and now it is changed to changed. So on running the file, you can see the changes getting reflected in our original list. Now we can also access the last element of our list using the below syntax. So I can say print programming languages, and I can say length of the programming languages list, and the last element is sitting at length of programming languages -1 index. So if you reference that using the index this, you will get the last element as well. So run the file. So you can see we are again getting Java. Now there is something interesting that I would like to discuss now, and that is negative indexing. Now Python, unlike other programming languages, support negative indexing in case of lists, which is not available in its counterpart arrays in other programming languages. Now what if I want to access the last element of list using this negative indexing concept? I can simply say programming languages, and to access the last element of our list, we can use the negative index of -1. So I can leave a comment here, negative indexing, and run the file, and you can see we are again getting Java logged to our terminal. So we are getting Java, which is of course the expected output. So negative indexing simply means starting from the end and move towards the beginning of the list. So the element at index -1 denotes the last element, which is Java, and the element at index -2 denotes the second last element, which is C++, and so on. Now there is one more interesting feature that Python supports but is not present in other languages, and I briefly touched over it in the introduction video, and that is range selection. So leave a comment here. So what you can do with range selection is that you can extract a range of indexes by specifying a start index, which is inclusive. So you can specify some start index, and this is inclusive. Then you use a colon and an end index, which is exclusive. So what if I want to print only the first 3 languages present in our list, which is Python, JavaScript, and C++? So for that I can say printing the first 3 languages of our list. So I can say print programming languages. I will use the start index as 0 because it is inclusive and we want first 3 elements. So I can use an index of 3, and this will be exclusive. So the first 3 elements will range from indexes 0 to 2, and 3 is exclusive, so we won't get Java. So if I run the file, so you can see we are getting Python, JavaScript, and C++, which is the expected output. So here 0 is your start index, inclusive, and 3 is the end index, which is exclusive, so we'll go till index 2. Now what if I want to omit the first language and want all the languages starting from index 1 till the end of the list? For that I can say all the languages starting from index 1. Print programming languages start from the index 1. Will not specify any end index because we want to go till the end of the list, and this should give the required output. So you can see we are now getting JavaScript, C++, and Java. So we started at index 1 and we went till the end of our list. So we omitted the end index, meaning that we don't care what is the length of the list. Go on and print all the elements till the end starting from index 1. And this is what we did. As simple as that. So just as we did negative indexing, we can do negative range selection as well, and it works exactly the reverse of what we have done in range selection. So now I want to print the first 3 languages of our list using negative range selection. So for that I can say, so you can see that at index -1 we have Java. If we use indexing in reverse fashion, at index -2 we have C++, at index -3 we have JavaScript, and at index -4 we have Python. So we now need to print the first 3 elements or first 3 languages using negative range selection. So for that I can say print programming languages, start from index -4 where Python is sitting and go till index -1, and index -1 is where Java is sitting, so we have to exclude that, and that is why this is exclusive and the start index is inclusive. So we'll get first 3 languages logged to our terminal if I run the file. So we are getting the expected output: Python, JavaScript and C++. Now let us talk about membership checking for an item. Now I want to check whether COBOL exists in our list of programming languages. So here I can use the in operator in Python to check for that, and it will spit out true if the item is a member of our list, otherwise it will return false. So checking for membership. So I can say print, I will say COBOL, which is a string. We are checking for the membership of this language in our programming languages list. So run the file. So this will spit out a Boolean value, and you can see we are getting false because COBOL is not present in our list of programming languages. And this operator, in operator, can be used in conditional statements, which we will see later when we go over them. So now let us talk about adding items in our list. Now there are a couple of positions at which you can add an item to the list. You can add an item to the end of the list. You can add an item at a specific index. You can add an item at the start of the list. So let us say I want to add a new language to our list of programming languages, and I want to add that language to the end of the list. So I want to add Ruby to the end of our list. For that I can use the append method on our list, adding items to the list, adding an item to the end of the list. So print, not print, programming languages dot append, and I will say Ruby, and let us print the programming languages to the terminal. So run the file. Now as you can see that the append method is a mutative method, so it changes the original array once you add an item to the list. So we are getting Ruby as our 5th element. So now to add an item at the specific index, I can use the insert method. So let us insert C at index 1. So right after Python. So I can say, I will leave a comment adding an item at a specific index. So I'll say programming languages dot insert, and at index 1 I want to add the language C, and let us print the programming languages to the terminal. Run the file. So you can see C is getting added to the index 1, and all other languages got shifted by 1 position to the right, and the length of our list got incremented by 1 because we have a new item in our list that is now sitting at index 1. Finally, let us learn about removing items from a list, and we can do that at a couple of positions. We can remove an item at the start of the list, we can remove an item in the middle at some index, and we can remove an item from the end of the array or list for that matter. So to remove a specific item, we can make use of the remove method. So if I go back to my editor and I want to remove the C language from a list of programming languages, I can say, so removing items from the list, programming languages dot remove the language C. And if I run the file, but before that let us print programming languages, and now run the file. So you can see C language now got removed. So to now remove an item at a specific index, we can use the pop method and pass on the index of the element that we want to remove. So if I want to remove the language at index 2, which is now C++, I can say programming languages dot pop and specify the index for C++, which is 2, and let us print the programming languages to the terminal and run the file. So now you can see C++ got removed from our list of programming languages. And finally, to remove the last item, I can simply use the pop method and omit the index and just say programming languages dot pop. So this will remove the last item of our list, which is Ruby now. If I print the programming languages to the terminal and run the file, so you can see Ruby got removed from our list of languages, and now we have Python, JavaScript and Java. So this was all about the video on lists that I wanted to cover in this video. So to sum it up, we discussed about the lists in great depth, covered the concepts like negative indexing, range selection, and the methods that you can use on lists. We'll learn more as we move along in this series. So if you liked the video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for all the upcoming uploads, and I will see you guys in the very next video.